Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Too Good to Be True podcast. I am your host, Pascal Mayala. Today we don't have that much, a lot of topic to talk about today because they didn't have any WNBA game, but we did have some off season to talk about with the Paul George. Why did he sign with the Sixer instead with the Clippers? What happened? And we're gonna hear in his own word. Kevin Durant was mad at trade rumors. Jalen Brunson could sign a max extension contract, for this season. And normally I don't talk about the Olympics, but we have to talk about the Anthony Edward too. So so buckle up, people. This podcast will be very interesting. And also, before we start our topic, if you like if you like this podcast, don't forget to listen to this podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Castbox, Amazon Music, any platform you can find this podcast, or you can listen to this podcast on my YouTube channel, Too Good to Be True Podcast with Pascal Mayala. If you want to listen to this podcast on YouTube, do me a favor. Like, subscribe, notify, and leave your comment on the on my video or on the community because I will post a lot of things on sport, culture, sneakers. Your comments means a lot to me. So we're 14 people already subscribed on my podcast. We need to be more. I need you guys to elevate this podcast even more to subscribe because without you, I don't know if this podcast will survive. But let's get right to it right now. So, Paul George, I just signed with the Philadelphia 76ers. And and for the news right now, and people ask me which number he's going to wear. He's going to wear the number 8 because of his idol, Kobe Bryant, obviously. Obviously. He did wear number 24 when he was playing with Indiana Pacers. Now he's wearing number 8 to honor the late great Kobe Bryant. Uh, Paul George was been asked about why did he sign with the Sixer instead with the Clippers. On his podcast, he explained why did he signed a contract with the Sixer instead with the Clippers. So I'm gonna share it with you guys. I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna share it, and we're gonna talk about it. But before we start, I need to check the volume. That'll be good. And right now, let's start from the beginning.
What was in the what,
Let's hear on Paul George, his view. Why did he sign with the Sixer, and what was the negotiation that let me restart. What was the contract negotiation with the Clippers? So you reading this, and let's listen to his perspective. So let's I just want to put the volume. So let's go.
what was the negotiations like with the Clippers to let you know that hey, I'm leaving y'all and I'm going to Philly?
Just to put it out there, like I never wanted to leave LA. LA is home. This is where I wanted to finish at. I wanted to work as hard as possible to win one in LA. Like that was the goal, to be here and be committed to LA. As it played out though, like the first initial deal was, I thought, kind of disrespectful, right? And again, no, in all of this, no hard feelings. So the first initial deal was like 2 years, 60. So I'm like, Whoa.
Hey, that's crazy, bro.
That's
Yeah.
That's right.
That's
crazy.
crazy.
That's crazy.
So I'm like,
Wow.
no, I'm not signing that. This was maybe like October-ish. Negotiations first started. It was 260. And as we kept going, it was like, they would go up, inches, 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 to where it was like 44, 45, right? But this was like a couple months in between before we got it to 40 something. I'm still like, nah, I'm not doing that. Then I hear wind of like, what they're going to give Kawhi. So I'm like, just give me what Kawhi got. Like,
Right.
y'all view us the same. Like, we came here together. We want to finish this together. I'll take what Kawhi got. Like, no
You was
no
cool with
problem.
that.
I was cool with that. Like,
Wow.
and we were still taking less. We were taking less. Kawhi took less. I was like, if Kawhi gonna take less, I'm not gonna say I want more than Kawhi. Like, I'm not gonna like. It's not about me being paid more than him. Like, I'm gonna take what he got. Y'all
Right,
give him
right.
that, give me that. They didn't want to do that. So this was before the All-Star break. So I'm like, you know what? I don't want let's not even have no more conversation. Let's just play this year out. Cause it was starting to get into like my mood. Now I'm you know what I mean? Like I didn't want to have that energy carry over into the team. Season in, I finished healthy, 74 games played, and had one of my most efficient seasons. So now we go into negotiations. Now they bring it to 3 years,
Yeah.
150. All right. That's cool. It sucks that it had to get to this point, like that we couldn't get this figured out a lot sooner. But now we at the end of the year, 3 years, 150. So I'm like, all right, like now we're in a ballpark. You know what I mean? Now we can have conversation here. I presented the 150, no trade. Cause in the meeting, they're like, we want you here long term. We want to, when you're retired, we want you to be a Clippers for a lifetime, like all of this stuff. So I'm like, cool. Give me the 3 years, 150, no trade then. Like no trade clause. Then I'm not like I'm taking less, but at least I know I'm here.
Mhm.
Like I'm committed to y'all. Like they didn't want to do the no trade. So then now I'm like, all right, well then it only makes sense for me to do 4 years, 212, right? Like at least pay me my money. If y'all gonna trade me, then y'all gonna trade me. But at least like now I'm not in a situation where I could have got more had I just gone to free agency, then take this deal, and then y'all could just ship me wherever I want. And now I'm on this deal that I didn't want. So they didn't want to do that. So then I was like, now I'm open to entertaining what's out there. And then through the negotiations, they wasn't budging. They weren't gonna budge. I wasn't gonna budge. I thought I played well enough for them to be like, you know what, he's a part of our future. Like I thought I did that. I thought I earned that. Granted, we didn't win while I was there, but luck has a lot to do with that. We couldn't remain healthy as a unit. Um, but I thought I did enough to earn that. I love Steve. I love Lawrence. But at that point, it didn't even feel right to come back with that type of energy and be comfortable playing back in LA.
This. So you heard what the uh Paul George said about his contract. So let's go back to the beginning. So during the season, he asked to the Clippers to give him the first deal to talk about. He asked the LA offer him 2 year, $60 million. It did not work. He asked for the second time. He asked the second time that he wanted the same contract as Kawhi Leonard did I believe it was last season or this season. But it was last season. Yeah, last season. They didn't give him that. The third one, he asked 3 year, $150 million with no trade clause. after the regular the play after they got eliminated in the playoff. They didn't do that. And for the last time, he asked 4 year, $220 million. Same thing. They didn't do that. So what they did, they didn't give him any contract, so he signed with the Sixers. And with no trade with no trade clause. So that means that the Clippers look like a damn idiot for not giving the the contract extension to Paul George. My thought is, why you did not just give him the same thing as Kawhi Leonard? I know I know that they didn't want to do that. They didn't want to over now I said that go over the salary cap. I understand that because you paid James Harden $70 million, and that you thought that paying James Harden $7 million, then you can re-sign Paul George. In their opinion, not me, but their opinion. So my thought is you should have given him sign. You should have re-signed him. But also, you are opening up also the new arena, the Intuit Dome in Inglewood this season will coming up, and you need some stars. And I thought, in my mind, I would say, okay, Poetry have to resign because they need attraction. You know, it's LA, she's LA, but outside of LA, like Inglewood, the new dome, the new arena gonna be open. You know, you need a superstar, and they didn't do it. So if you ask me who's the winner and the loser of this one, Paul George seems the winner because he signed a contract, signed a contract with the Sixers, and the Clippers are the loser because they have nothing, no, no players, nothing, not even a draft pick. So they are the losers on this one. So Philadelphia, give him credit because Joel Embiid need help, and for the Clippers, I don't know where they're going. You sign Kawhi Leonard and you sign James Harden. You should have you should have signed DeMar DeRozan, but you didn't. I don't know why. I thought DeMar DeRozan, in my mind, if Paul George would not resign, at least you could sign you can sign uh DeMar DeRozan, which makes sense. Oh, I mean, he's from LA. LA, Compton, you know, you know, it makes sense. But they didn't do it. So I don't know where they're going from here, but but I don't know why, but they seem to lose on this one. We will take a little bit of break, then I'll be back in couple of seconds. So don't move, people. Welcome back to the Too Good to Be True podcast. I'm your host Pascal Mayala. Um, Now let's switch another topic. Let's talk about Kevin Durant. Yes, Kevin Durant is now preparing to go to the Olympics. He's preparing to go to the Olympics and go to Paris to win to win another gold medal for the Team USA. So to me, I didn't pick the I didn't pick the who's gonna win the gold medal. I didn't have a pick on it, but we saw Kevin Durant doing the interview during the USA basketball, and he was talking, and a reporter asked him about if he was uh, angry that the uh, that the Phoenix Sun wanted to trade him because it's been rumors that in the offseason that trade Kevin Durant will be traded. So I wanted to share it. I wanted to share it. So I want to share it. So let's listen what uh, Kevin Durant gotta say about that. Then you're gonna listen to my reaction. So let's listen what Kevin Durant gotta say. So let's listen what Kevin Durant gotta say. Then then I'll give my take on it. So let's listen right now.
Just press the KD want to leave button anytime you want some attention. Like it's a button. Yes, it's a for sure a button. What else is going to get people going around this time? So the the journeyman is leaving again. That storyline always hit. The people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's why they see the alerts on ESPN on your phone. KD's thinking about leaving. That's how big that story is, which is whack. Talking to every day, since the season ended, like our GMs, coaches, everybody, we've been locked in. So it's like to say hear somebody say, "Well, Phoenix wants to get out of the KD." So where's this coming from? So yeah, I don't take that stuff.
So let's restart all over again. Then we're gonna uh I'm gonna react to it for I'm gonna react to it with my perspective. So let's listen.
Just make up lies. Like, everybody don't believe you. Like you just press the KD want to leave button anytime you want some attention. You think it's a button? Yes, it's a for sure a button. What else is going to get people going around this time? So the journeyman is leaving again. That storyline will always hit. The people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's why they see the alerts on ESPN on your phone. KD's thinking about leaving. That's how big that story is, which is whack. Was talking to every day. Since the season ended, like our GMs, coaches, everybody, we've been locked in. So it's like to hear somebody say, "Well, Phoenix wants to get out of the KD." So somebody saying, like, "Where's this coming from?" So yeah, I don't.
So you heard what KD said during the interview with Yahoo.com about him rumors that KD will be traded. I will defend Kevin Durant because it seems like it's very unfair for him. Because let's go back when the 2019 offseason. Remember, he got injured during the finals against my Raptors, which we won, and free agency started to ask Actually, we were asking ourselves where Kevin Durant will go. Because you know he wants to leave Golden State Warriors. So I thought he was going to sign with the Nets. Then, newsflash, he was signed with the Brooklyn Nets with Kyrie Irving. You know, after that signing with the Brooklyn Nets, I thought they're going to win a championship with Kyrie Irving in Brooklyn by adding James Harden. And we all know what happened. It didn't fail. It failed. And then what happened? James Harden got traded. Kyrie Irving got traded. Kevin Durant got traded to Phoenix Sun. So when he signed with the Phoenix Sun, I thought, okay, even though they're not going to win the championship because I predicted they're not going to win. I predicted not in my podcast, but I predicted in my mind that they're not going to win because it's really too late. And they got eliminated in the second round by the Denver Nuggets, who, by the way, they became the champion. And then this season, we've been hearing, I don't know where it come from, but I remember Stephen A. Smith on First Take, he said that Kevin Durant did not speak with the coach, did not speak in his teammate. He's in his own world. That's according to Stephen A. Smith, according to the report that Stephen A. Smith gave. I don't want people going to my comment saying that Stephen A. Smith said that. No, it was a report that they gave to Stephen A. Smith. So let's stop it right now. Let's don't blame Stephen A. Smith. And and also they added Bradley Beal, like the big three. And they were saying there was a super team. And I said this with super team, that super team, I don't mind with super team because in the beginning of your career, no. At the end of your career, yes. Sometimes super teams are built by draft. Or let's say what Shaq said when I was listening to Open Court a long time ago. He said that I like where super teams are accidental or coincidental. That's why, yeah, that's what Shaq said. And then what happened this season for Kevin Durant? They got swept in the first round. And now that Phoenix Suns don't have any cap space, so that's why the rumor was starting that Kevin Durant might be leaving. Or the Phoenix Suns, all right, had wanted to trade Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, which is not true. I don't buy it. I'll say this, I'll restart the season. Let's try one more time. If it doesn't work, trade into the middle of the season. So that's why I say it's unfair to criticize him because most of the time it's not his fault. So that's all I'm gonna say about that with the Kevin Durant situation. Let's take another little break. Then we will talk about the Jalen Brunson contract. So I'll be back. Welcome back to the Too Good to Be True podcast with Pascal Mayala. I am your host, Mr. Pascal Mayala, aka Le Maréchal, aka the Black Leopard. Uh, let's talk about Jalen Brunson. It's being said about the report. There's been rumors about Jalen Brunson could get the contract for 157 million dollars for this off season. So I want to share it with you guys on Bleacher Report. This is according to Bleacher Report. This is not from me. So this is according to Bleacher Report. Jalen Brunson could get a max contract this season. So let's read this together. So let's read this. Jalen Brunson appeared willing to make some concession in order to help the New York Knicks become a legit contender. Fred Cass of The Athletic report that Brunson is considered accepting a max extension for the New York Knicks this offseason, which will mean he will sign a full year, $156.5 million. While this is a substantial amount of money, he will be eligible for a 5-year, $269.1 million deal following to the 2024 and 25 season. That would mean he could potentially earn an additional $113 million guaranteed and an average annual of $53.8 million as opposed to a $39.1 million he would receive if he signed the extension this offseason. Okay, that's great, because Jalen Brunson having a great year with the New York Knicks, and guess what? He was an All-Star. So I'm proud of Jalen Brunson, underdog. So let's continue reading this. Katz reported that Brunson is considering the deal as he would allow the Knicks to avoid the second apron and have a better chance at building a contender. All right, I got something in my eye. So this is what Katz said, and I quote, a leak source said it's one reason he considered taking the cheaper extension, which could help the Knicks avoid the second apron in its immediate future, giving the franchise a better chance to win its first championship since 1973. That's what Katz said. So also, Katz from the Athletic continues to say that it's been reported that Bronson does value the security of signing a deal now and does not want to play somewhere else beside New York. If he doesn't sign with the Nets, that means he could sign with the Brooklyn Nets. So it's still New York. So it's still New York. So let's continue. The first reason the extension remained on the table, according to a leak source in security, which Cap wrote, Brunson has no interest in playing elsewhere. According to the source closer to him, he has referred to the Knicks as family. In some cases, literally, he chose New York because of his deep tie with his team president Leon Rose, head coach Tom Thibodeau, and his father being an assistant, which is normal, which is true. His father was a former NBA player, so people do not know. The 27-year-old had outstanding 2023-24 season, averaging 28 points, 6.7 assists, 3.6 rebounds in 77 games. He helped lead the New York Knicks to a 52 record and the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. While New York would fall in the second round, it made a major splash by re-signing OG and acquiring Mikal Bridges from the Brooklyn Nets. This deal should keep the Nets toward to the top of the Eastern Conference and make them a true title contender. So, which is true, by the way. Let's go back. Which is true because he had, like I said, he had a great season. Even though they got eliminated in the second round, they had a chance to resign OG Anunoby, adding Mikal Bridges from the Brooklyn Nets, which it never been done for 30 years between the Nets and the Knicks. So this is the first time it has been done. Let's continue, shall we? If Brunson were to go for the max value, New York may have to put less resources to areas of the team that could hurt contention chance. Additionally, Brunson would hit free agent 2 years earlier if he took this year offer if you could allow him to cash it later down the road. He has some more than considered his option offer cannot be officially sent until February. So this is what the report said, and I would say this: good for him. If and I said if the New York Knicks drafted him right now, I should not draft. If we sign him, no, when I say draft, we sign him. Uh, I think the Knicks could be a contender, but also it's kind of like a risky situation because if you give it that this max dollar, I don't think you will resign the other players. So it's going to be a problem. But if he does it in a smart way, I think he will be a contender. Do I think they're going to win this season championship? No. Do I think they're going to go to the conference champion? Yes, absolutely. So to me, the Nets got a better chance to resign him with 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 him and be a contender. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Let's switch gear right now because Anthony Edwards says something interesting about who's the top scorer, who's the option number one, who's the option number one on the team USA. Who's the number one option? Let's say this. So let's read what he said. I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna share it. It's on Bleacher Report again. I love Bleacher Report. So listen what he let's read what he said. So with the Team USA minicamp under the way in Las Vegas, Anthony Edwards got the internet buzzing with his thought on the roster hierarchy. So I'm still the number one option, Edwards told the report on Sunday. Y'all might look at it differently. They've got to fit to play around me. That's how I feel. So this is the question we want to ask: who is? Or let's say this: here's we'll break down the chance who will be the Team USA number one option. So they gave us some option players. So let's look at it. Let's look at it. Devin Booker, number one option. Anthony Davis. And they say Kawhi Leonard, but Kawhi Leonard is pretty much an injury prone. So I don't know. He's not a real number one option on Team USA. Jason Tatum. That is the sorry. That is the a special consideration. So special consideration. I just want to add. So number 5, LeBron James. I'll go a little bit. Number 5, LeBron James could be number one option, even though he's 39 years old. Even though he's 39 years old, so I don't know. So let's see who's number 4. Steph Curry, possibly. I can see Steph Curry, number 4. Number 3, himself, Anthony Edwards. Number 2, Joel Embiid. No, not really. I don't see Joel Embiid an option number 1. Or number 1, Kevin Durant. I do see Kevin Durant So when I saw the list, when I see the list right now, I will remove Joel Embiid. I'll keep LeBron, Steph, Anthony Edwards, and Kevin Durant. If you want me to add a player, I'll put Jason Tatum, the number one option, or let's say the top five option. Or you can pick Devin Booker, which I don't have a problem with people, but Jason Tatum could be the number one option on this team. So that's what the top five option number one for Team USA. Now, before we leave, I want you guys to hear what. Actually, you know what? We got a lot of time, so we got a lot of time. So I wanted to talk about a little bit the ranking for the baseball because I see I don't talk about much about baseball. So let's read one more time for the Bleacher Report. According to Bleacher Report, the new power ranking of the standing in the standing until what the All Star break. So let's I'm gonna share it now. Let's go. Let's share it a little bit. I'm gonna share it right now, and let's read it. Let's read it. Who was from number 30 to 29? The power ranking. The Chicago White Sox, they're number 30. Number 29, the Colorado Rockies. Oh, Colorado Rockies. Every time can I just before I continue, can I just say something with the Colorado Rockies? The Colorado Rockies, it's a desperate team. I mean, the same thing with Chicago White Sox. I mean, both teams, they're a bad team. I don't know why, but I feel they're a bad team. So let's continue. Number 28 to number 27, Miami, Maryland, which I'm not surprised. Which I'm not surprised with the Miami, Maryland. The Los Angeles Angels, same thing. I'm not surprised because Shadell Otani is gone, and Mike Trout is an injury prone. I mean, get out of LA. Just get out. Before we continue, just get out of LA. I mean, I mean, there's nothing there for you, Mike Trout. Go somewhere else, like a New York or a contender team. I mean, it does not work. I'm sorry, but Mike Trout, you need to get the hell out of the Los Angeles Angels. So number 26 and number 25, Oakland Athletics. So I'm not surprised. The Chicago Cubs, which I'm surprised. They're ranked number 25th. I'm surprised. Surprised about that. Number 24, the Cincinnati Reds. Okay. Number 23, the Detroit Tigers. Well, also they come out to be good, even though they're progressing. But I don't know if they're a true they could make it to the playoff. So Detroit Tigers, they're going up a little bit. So number 22 to number 21, the Washington National. Okay. The Pittsburgh Penguin. Okay. So number 20 to 19. Oh man. The Texas Rangers. Okay. My Toronto Blue Jays. Oh man. We're having a mediocre season. So at least we're climbing up. We're climbing up. If we continue, let me say this as a Blue Jay fan. If we continue to climb up, I think we could make to the wild card. So go Blue Jays. Number 18, Tampa Bay Rays. Okay. Number 17, the San Francisco Giants. Okay. Number 16, the New York Mets. I mean, they're a mediocre team. I have to make fun of the Mets all the time. All the time. The Arizona Diamondback. Okay. Number 14 to number 13, the Houston Astros. Okay. Which the previous they were number 12, then they slide down to 14. Oh, I'm not surprised. The St. Louis Cardinal. Okay, okay. That's great. They're climbing up. Number 12 to number 11, the Seattle Mariners. Even though we beat them. Yay. Yeah, they just went down. The number 11, the Kansas City Royals. Okay. Now, top 10 right now. The San Diego Padres. Okay, number 10. Number 9, Boston Red Sox. Okay, I can see. Number 7, the Atlanta Braves. Number 7, the Milwaukee Brewers. Number 6, the New York Yankees, which I'm surprised. By the way. Minnesota Twins. Number 5, the Minnesota Twins. Number 4, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Yeah. The Cleveland Guardians, aka the Cleveland Indians. I don't know. Yeah, they have changed their last name. And number 2, the Philadelphia Phillies. Okay. And number 1, the Baltimore Orioles. So the Baltimore Orioles are the number 1 in the new power ranking for this week. So I'm surprised by my Blue Jays, but I'm surprised also for the Yankees more than my Blue Jays. So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised for my Blue Jays, but I was surprised for the New York Yankees. So those are the power ranking for the baseball. Let's take another little bit quick break. Then we will talk about Kiyan Anthony. Welcome back to the Too Good to Be True podcast for our final topic we talk about Kiyan Anthony, which is the son of Carmelo Anthony, said something on what was it, overtime? Who will win on a 2-on-2 versus 2-on-2 father and son? So Bronny James and LeBron James versus Carmelo Anthony and Kiyan James. Actually, Kiyan Anthony. So I'm gonna share it with you guys, and we're gonna listen what he's got to say. So hold on. I'll put the max volume. So let's listen what he said. And before that, before I read this, actually before I start this, I just want to remind that Carmelo Anthony tweeted said I'm going to he said that I'm going to remember this laughing emojis. So let's listen what he gotta say. Uh-huh.
I think Bron and Bron, honest, just because Bron's still in the league, he's still. I don't know, but it'll be a close game. I feel like it'll be like 11-8, 11-7.
You see, Brian got back to the Lakers. Talk to him at all?
Nah, but I talked to Bryce and he's excited for me. I'm gonna try. I've been trying to get him. He's still working out.
So you heard what Kiyan said about who will win. That's very interesting. I always wonder who's going to win. Carmelo and Kiyan versus LeBron James and Bronny. Because I know Carmelo's retired, even though he's in on the court practicing with his son. LeBron is still in the league. He's 39 years old. He's still in the league. And LeBron and James have just been drafted. So I don't know who's gonna win. If I make you, if I'll make a bet, I think it's gonna be closer than everybody thinks is. So I will give LeBron James Bronny to win, but I will little bit give slight edge to Kiyan and Carmelo Anthony. That's my opinion. So, what is your opinion on who gonna win 2-on-2 father and son? You know, LeBron James and Bronny James, or Carmelo Anthony and Kiyan James. So that's for the show for today, and thank you very much for listening to this podcast. Like I said, if you want to follow me on this podcast, go listen to this podcast on Spotify, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Castbox, any platform you can find, or you can listen to this podcast on my YouTube channel, Too Good to Be True Podcast. Uh, if you want to listen to this my podcast on YouTube, do me a favor, like, subscribe, notify, and leave your comment on the community or on the video because your comment means a lot to me. Like I said, we have 14 people who subscribe on my podcast. I want this podcast to grow, and let's grow this podcast together. And if you want to follow me on social media, follow me on X, formerly Twitter, at Belly versus PMM, or you want to follow me on Instagram. It's Pascal underscore Mayala underscore 15. Same thing with Threads. And I want to say this. Thank you very much. And I'll see you next time. Bye.